there's a gap between the way the person appears, how they present themselves to the world, and then there's how they really feel. And that gap between how they appear and how they really feel is determined by the amount of emotions that they memorize. So now they can think positively all they want. They could have the biggest dream board, but if it doesn't have an emotional quotient in which they begin to feel the joy and the passion of that event, and they're still living the rest of their day in fear or anxiety or unworthiness or insecurity, their mind is connected to the past, and so they'll always keep creating more of the past. So the personal change that has to take place is the person has to begin to realize what emotion, remember, emotion is energy in motion, what emotion am I embracing every day? Because if emotion is energy in motion, then and the person experiences the same emotion every single day, they're freezing energy in their life to be exactly the same. There is no available energy to create with. So then they have to begin to unmemorize that emotion and begin to transmute that fear, or that insecurity, or that guilt into another emotion. And that process of unmemorizing that emotion literally liberates the energy out of their body, and it becomes free energy now to create with. And so as they begin to remove the masks of those emotions that they've memorized that become part of their personality, as energy begins to liberate, how they appear and who they are becomes more merged, and they develop this state of transparency. The final result of that is, as they start to overcome their anger and their fear and their guilt and their pain and their sadness, they start to get happy. Now, the moment they start to feel joy, that natural state of being that most human beings are privileged to, as they begin to find joy within themselves, independent of the conditions in their life, or what we would call unconditional love, then that's when the experience finds them. That's when the event happens. So most people say, oh, well, I'll have, when I have these possessions, or I'm going to accumulate these possessions to make me happy. What that really means is they're living by Newtonian laws. They're living by very classical laws of physics. In other words, they'll go out and they'll do whatever it takes to get the things they want in their life, or the experiences that they want. And they think that once they have those things or those experiences, that will bring them a certain amount of joy. That's the backwards thinking in the quantum law. The quantum law actually works the other way. Transmute the emotion into something else. And once we're able to do that then, and change the mind and the body ahead of the experience, to make a new mind and recondition the body to a new emotion ahead of the experience, that's when the person finds joy for no reason, and that's when the events start to find them, and they start to experience a greater sense of self. So if I were to say it really simply, your personal reality is created from your personality. So the present reality that you're experiencing is created from your present personality. To change your personal reality, then, you would have to change something about your personality. And your personality then is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. Now, most people don't want to do that. They'd rather turn on the TV or get on their cell phones and complain, or get on the internet and distract them from those emotions that are the core of their memorized self. And so I think that one of the things that happens when people begin to realize that there's got to be an energy exchange that takes place. In other words, if you want something to happen in your life, there's some emotion that you memorize. That emotion is energy, and it's a footprint of the past. So once you begin to unmemorize that emotion and you liberate it, that emotion now is free energy. And that's when you start to look into the future instead of looking to the past.